Welcome to the Mediocre to Magnificent podcast. I'm your co-host, Braxton Matson, and your host, Lee A. Williams, and I just want to say thank you for tuning in because you are what makes this pure magnificence. You are the ripple effect of magnificence, and we are going to bring you a message that will give you insight, inspire you, motivate you, and challenge you to not only grow in your magnificence, but let you know that you are magnificent in everything you do. So stay tuned, you don't want to miss it. Magnificent to see you, man.
Always. Good seeing you.
I know. I didn't tell you.
Oh.
I got an Isn't Me Or.
Oh, wow. Okay, let's see what you got.
So, like the last 2 weeks at work, sometimes I'll help out with warranty calls.
Yeah.
So like if the operator, like if, Terry or something, if they're on the phone with somebody else, they'll usually send it to me or somebody to help out with some tech call.
Mm.
So like I'll get calls and sometimes you don't know who it is. It doesn't show you. It says unknown number or whatever.
Yeah.
You know? And so I've been like the last 2 weeks, I've been getting this number. And if it starts with 470, I'm like, I'm not picking up the phone. I'm not doing it.
Not doing that one, huh?
I'm not doing that one.
You figured it out.
If you really have a problem, you're going to leave me a message. But every now and then I'll pick up the phone, 470, unknown number. And as soon as I say, like, I'll do like Braxton Madison LTI. And then boom, it's like this loud, hello. Yada, 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 yada. It's like and it doesn't sound human.
It's not.
Like it's close, but it's like the way it's being said. It's like what? Who answers a phone like that?
Right.
So I was like, what is this stuff? And I was looking it up, like AI. Like they've got telemarketing down to where AI intelligence is like having a conversation with you on the phone.
Yeah.
And there was one point where I was just having a conversation with this thing. I'm like, this just doesn't feel right. Like, is this a real person talking to me right here?
Did you ask or you didn't?
No, I didn't. But I want to do it now because I was reading an article. Some guy actually did, and he was like asking questions, and the AI couldn't answer the questions.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, this is weird kind of stuff.
It's funny.
And I'm like,
that.
Have they really gotten that detail with it? I'm like, China has got like you can Google it. You can Google it, and there's people you can actually like listen to the recordings of them having conversations with AI. It's scary, man. I'm like, AI is taking over telemarketing. They're gonna take over telemarketing.
My mom, she's like, especially if she calls about something, she'll be like, "Am I talking to you? Am I talking to American?"
Yeah. Well, you know, it always transfers to like you don't even know it really until you get to where it's like, I don't think you like this isn't.
Yeah, you're not talking to somebody.
You're not even in the same country.
She said, "I want to talk to somebody on American soil."
Yeah.
This is an American company that paid my bill in America. I want to talk to somebody in America. My mom.
But
can you imagine that she's talking to the?
Yeah. Oh man.
The AI says, "I am American, and I'm on American soil."
But I'm like, this is crazy. Like, really?
Yeah, man. Isn't me or? Are you talking to a human?
Like, what happened is just like having an authentic conversation with somebody.
Yeah. The places that you have to hit the prompts, man. Press 1 or
press 1.
Press 5 or,
and that's what it did. Like
press these words.
It's like right when I say, like, sometimes I don't even say anything.
and it'll be just dead silent the whole time for like 15 seconds. I say something and bam, it just pops up. Asks the same question.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's just weird.
Yes.
It's weird.
It's interesting, man.
But yeah, that's it. It's me or.
Is it you? Are you talking to a human?
Yeah, for real. But yeah, this episode, what we got this episode?
Man, I wanted to like work through confidence is a form of trust.
Confidence is a form of trust.
What do you think about when that?
You know, like we had talked about like the title of this last week, trying to like fix, you know, just as, and it just, something just sat with me. Like confidence is a form of trust. And first thing that kind of comes to my mind was like self-confidence.
Yeah.
But then it just didn't sit with me right.
It did?
It did.
Why not?
Because I'm like, having self-confidence in yourself, I think there's a level more. There's a level higher than having self-confidence.
Okay.
And that's like having confidence, having trust in the man upstairs.
Oh yeah, that's good.
So I was like, that, to me, that was the bigger picture for me.
Right.
It was like, do you have trust in him?
Yeah.
To let him do his work with you?
Right.
That gives you the confidence to do certain things. That's kind of what was sitting with me on the topic, was that.
Yeah. So I know you end up thinking more about it. So where did it end up? Like?
Well, I was going through like, because we do D group.
Yeah.
Right. And a lot of it is, I wanted to see, how many times is confidence in the Bible?
Oh wow.
And I think like looking at some articles, like depending on the type of text, it's like 54 to 60 something times in the Bible.
Right.
Psalms is a good one. Proverbs has some in it. You know,
right.
I mean, it's everywhere. New Testament, Old Testament.
Right.
It's everywhere, but it's worded differently in each text on some stuff. So like Jeremiah 17:7 says, "Blessed is the one who trusts in the Lord, whose confidence is in him." So it's like, if you put it, like, you're blessed,
right,
to have that. And then like, if I was to look up other things, in a different way, like ESV or something like that. Let me see if I can find a good one. Okay, so ESV puts it this way. That was like NLT.
Yeah.
The way I said that one. The way ESV puts it is, "Blessed is the man who trusts in the Lord, whose trust is the Lord." So it's like, confidence is kind of trust.
Yeah.
You know? That's kind of how, like, if you trust in him, the confidence comes with it.
Right.
That's how I was going about doing it.
Well, that's good.
Like, what did you take on?
Well, I was thinking, like, saying, okay, well, confidence is a form of trust. What is that? Because I heard that, and I was like, okay, man, I want to talk about that.
Yeah.
And my mind immediately went to, like, the way that you're able to have confidence, and especially when you say, like, oh, man, I felt like it was self-worth, self-value, self-confidence at first, but then it's like, And it's where, are you impeccable with your word?
Mm-hmm.
So to make it, I guess the simple version is like, okay, well, you said you're going to get up at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
You don't.
Uh-huh.
So you don't trust yourself. Does that affect your confidence?
Yeah. Well, I like how you put it, because that's true. I mean, in a way,
like say if we check in with your challenge, right? Like, well,
Yeah.
you said you're gonna, and it's like, but you don't. Is that a direct reflection to your confidence and how you show up?
yeah, I think it would be.
I do too.
I really do.
I do too.
Because it's like you put these things in place.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do it. Like you have this self-confidence in it.
Yeah.
Like you try, like, yeah, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
And then something happens and you don't do it. It's almost like it's like a hit at your confidence level.
Yeah.
And then depending on how you react to it, either your confidence is gonna go down,
Yeah.
or you're gonna like work on getting it back. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, even if you want to say, take it with a person that tells you that they're going to do something.
Mm-hmm.
So they gave you your word. That's why I said be impeccable with your word. Oh, yeah, you can count on me. I'll be there.
Yeah.
It's like, I didn't show up. One of our mentors said, man, I invited you to the meeting, man. It's like, oh, I had to take the trash out. I was like, you having to take the trash out?
Mm-hmm.
Made it so you couldn't come to the meeting? Like, what's going on? But the connection of okay, so here we are with you invited, oh yeah, I'll be there. Person doesn't come, doesn't tag, doesn't call, doesn't say nothing. Next time you see the person, doesn't even acknowledge that they didn't show. What's your confidence level with that person?
Yeah.
Has it changed? Like, because people teach you how to treat them. Has it changed now?
Right.
Do you still be able to take them at the face value in confidence, or you be like, eh?
Oh, I think it does come to a point where it's like it could be in question.
Yeah.
And like it's almost like you have to have that conversation.
Yeah. I mean, you definitely have to have that conversation.
Yeah. It's almost like what was the scripture reading? We had read it's about dealing with like if you're hanging around people that are doing the wrong thing, it's not right, and you don't speak the truth, it eats at you.
Yeah.
I mean, it eats at you.
Right.
Because you're not speaking the truth.
Yeah, you might as well just been doing that,
Right.
Whatever was wrong. Because it's like, you didn't.
Right. It's like even when they're in the wrong,
Right.
you go along with it. You may not have been involved in it, but you know it's happening.
Right.
And you don't speak your truth on like.
But so let's break that down to say, in order for you to speak your truth or the truth.
It's the confidence part. It's the confidence part.
Right.
That's part of it. Because it's like, it's almost like with like your faith.
Yeah.
Like let's just do a regular like example like with marriage and cheating. That's a good one. I mean that's pretty. Everybody can kind of relate to that.
I hope not.
Or at least know about it.
Yeah.
So like you have a friend. He's a good friend.
Yeah.
And say things are maybe the marriage isn't working quite right.
Right.
And either he's not being faithful. You know this.
Oh, really?
Say you know this.
Okay.
But you don't say anything to him.
Like, so let's
about it.
You know to what degree? Like, what are we saying right now?
Well, like, what do you mean?
Like, so you said he's married.
He's married.
Being unfaithful.
Like he's cheating on her.
Yeah. And you know, like.
And you know.
Like, this is your friend.
This is your friend.
And you don't say nothing.
And you don't say nothing.
Why not?
Why not? Is the question. It's like, are you putting your trust in the person, or are you putting trust in your faith and what you believe is right?
So me and Erica talked about this. not this subject, but this, what I'm saying, I'm gonna set it up to say that I think there's certain things that has to be established. So if is your friend a believer?
Yes. That is a key. That changes the whole dynamic to it
because
too.
if he's not a believer,
it's different. It can be different.
Then to what standard are you holding him to?
Right.
Like what truth are you holding him to?
Right.
But if he's a believer,
like that's
a known thing, and he's put his trust in the Lord. The commandments are a real thing, and then you as a brother,
you don't
in
speak
Christ,
up. Yeah.
Is it gonna be uncomfortable? It's gonna be, but like, hey man, what's going on?
Yeah.
What you doing, man? Does he got kids?
He could, yeah. Let's say he got kids too. I mean, that adds another layer to it.
Like, what you doing, man?
And it's like you gotta like, and that's part of it. Like that's when I brought up like trusting in the Lord.
Right.
I think
sometimes because even Eric will be like, man, well, I'm not made like you. I wouldn't be like for certain situations where I'll point be like, man, what's going on with you, man?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Uh-huh.
But am I trusting in that I truly care?
Yeah.
Like I truly care. Like, so I'm coming from a sincerity of heart, and by me coming from a sincerity of heart and being impeccable with my word, I'm able to have the confidence.
Yeah.
Especially now knowing that he's a believer. So what book are you reading? If you're like, hey, this is on the list. This is on the main list.
And it's
so basically
that's
basically because it ties it back into what you just said. To have the confidence in the Lord. Not to say that I just jokingly say this sometimes. Not to say that we have to place blame. But in this instance, blame it on the Lord.
Yeah.
He can handle it. Like, hey man, what are you doing?
Yeah.
This says this, this, and this. He says this, this, and this. What are you doing?
Right.
Like, you don't because that's where it sometimes gets, especially even if we go back to a lighter example with man, you said you were going to come to the event. I'm blaming you. I'm placing the blame on you.
Yeah.
I'm not attached.
Yeah.
You said you were coming. You said you were a Christian.
Yeah.
You said you were a believer. The Bible said, the 10 Commandments say, you need to be impeccable with your word because it's not adding up.
Right. And it's like coming from a sincerity of heart from doing that.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if you trust in the Lord enough, it gives you that confidence to say that. And like you said, not be attached. Like you still love the person. You still care about the person.
That's not in question.
That's never in question.
And we've talked about that before.
Yeah.
Like saying, okay, my love is not in question.
Right.
God's love is not in question. I don't know. I'm not going to speak for God on this behalf. My respect might be.
Yeah.
The respect level might waver.
Yeah.
Like, hey man, you married, got kids. What are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Love's not in question.
Yeah. But you got to put the.
Yeah. So I won't never forget. I was working at the sheriff's office, man. And man was cheating on his wife. Had kids. I mean, say I'm the lieutenant on the shift.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I get a claim. I get a report that this officer did some things that wasn't up to standard. Ethical violation.
Yeah.
This is the same man that cheats on his wife, has 2 kids. Do you look at him and say, confidently like, oh, no way, that didn't happen?
Mm.
Or do you say, we definitely got to look into this? Well, let's just be real. Either way, I'd have to look into it.
Right. Either way.
But if I did have to put my personal feelings involved to say, if he's able to do that, this makes this even more possible.
Right.
So you can see how the confidence is like,
Yeah.
hey, man, the confidence has been taken down. Because you're not impeccable with your word. You don't show up the way you say. And now, trust is waning.
Right.
I won't never forget, like, there's certain people, man, I have, like we're talking about events and stuff. You probably know too. Or maybe I've been in some different circles, but please don't hold it against me. Be like, hey, I'm getting ready to have an event. Oh, I'm not inviting him. Why not? Because my family's going to be there. And there's no way I'm going to expose my family to this.
Yeah.
That's a confidence thing.
It's a confidence thing. Yeah.
I don't trust you around my family, man.
Right.
Might say something crazy, might do something crazy. Act out, and then now I got to be somebody that I don't want to have to be. But yeah, that's what I was thinking about, man, with this. But yeah, definitely to have, because it's wonderful that you said it from the beginning, so I don't want to deviate. We might have went down some...
We went down some... We went down some
different paths. But to really tie it in, what we search for our entire life, is the confidence that you said from the beginning.
Yeah, I mean,
to know that we are, saved,
like for example,
by grace.
For a really good example,
and you can trust that
is we have it's called One Way that the church does every like Friday. And these are like people that have gone through stuff. Like
we all
talking.
We all have.
Some of it's like you could sit there and they'll talk about, you know, what they've gone through. And it's just a humbling experience.
Yeah, there's no other way to say it.
To see what people have gone through. And then it's like their testimony of what they've had happen, but it just gives you the confidence in trusting in Him,
right,
in God, to do something with your situation that you're having,
right.
And but that's the whole part of the whole trusting and confidence thing. It's not that we put our trust in people, our confidence in people. It's the testimonies of what He's done with them that gives us the confidence and the trust to do that, to get in the Word, to understand how He works in our lives. That is more important than anything, is when you can sit there and go through some like stuff, life.
Right.
And you're sitting there like, man, this is like, why? Like you ask the question, why? Why? And it's like, it's a timing thing, man.
You're being battle tested, man.
It is. It's like it reminds me of like Moses. How in the beginning, you know how he like one of his, he killed one of the Egyptians, but his own people were like, am I going to be next? And I felt like in that moment, it was like Moses had confidence, but it wasn't really the type of confidence that God wanted him to have at that point. So that's why he had to go through all that stuff before he could lead, really. And he still struggled with it. But it was like that constant, it's that constant like seeking, he's seeking us the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we turn away from it, or we don't have the trust
Right.
to have the confidence in him. But he still pursues it. And that's why you're going to go through the stuff.
Right.
And if you have the faith, you're going to turn back.
You're going to turn back.
But yeah, that's what I had for it, is just like, confidence is a form of trust.
It is, man.
You got to have the trust. It's like no matter what it is that you go through, you got to have the trust. That's what I got out of it the whole time.
Yeah.
So, but,
thank you for sharing that, man.
Yeah.
Gotta have trust.
Have to
put
have
it in the proper place.
I know.
And you'll
like,
be
have
confident.
you ever, of course you may probably have.
What is that?
Like, put trust in other things, and it like,
and it failed.
And it failed.
It didn't work.
It failed.
It backfired.
Like, it's like you put all your eggs in one basket.
I wouldn't say that it was, but I wouldn't say that it was a waste, because I almost when I was getting on it like fail backfire. And all that stuff.
I know. I was sitting like, I think God did it for a reason.
Right.
Yeah.
But you see how easy that it could be like, oh, it was wasted. It was like there was no way that was a waste. Now it could be, if you don't use it
in the
and
right
allow
way.
it to be your testimony to help empower someone else,
right,
in their time.
Yeah.
But it was definitely for you and the sanctification process on your journey.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely was.
It's crazy how it works, though.
And there's still stuff. I mean, I just had if you want to say, flare up.
A flare up.
with what I know God is like working with me on.
Yeah.
And it's almost like, okay, son. Like really,
right.
Okay, son.
Yeah.
Like you're smarter than this. Like I know you're made a certain way because I made you. But how do you keep allowing some of these certain specific things push you over the edge?
Yeah. It's and
it's like to be like,
it's a great thing to recognize that, though.
Yeah.
It's a great thing to recognize that.
To be like, to trust in your sense, to be like, I'm not gonna play your silly game.
Yeah, it's like you're playing a game, man.
But like, get behind me.
It's like, why am I playing this game?
Just like, get behind me. And don't play the game. Don't feed it. Because you might be. It happens. People really gotta understand when it happens. When you have a victory or a success, or you're coming off a high, coming off a vacation, it's just something positive. Just label it a revival at the church, a retreat, event, 8 a.m. adventure, magnificent life experience. And you're like, and then all of a sudden something rears its head, and it's like, you have to be able to get to the place in that timing.
Mm-hmm.
To say, I know what this is. And I'm not going to let this steal from my confidence or my trust in.
Right. I mean, just saying that it reminds me of like just parenting. It's just like parenting. So, like yesterday, like Candace she had a thing with the ladies at church, which I was like, yes. Yes, she's,
she's going.
They're doing stuff. They're, and it's like, well, I got the kids.
Right.
And it's like, in my heart, I'm like, I don't care if I got the kids.
Right.
But then it's like, well, what do I do with the kids?
Well,
you know what I mean?
I got to do something.
Well, I got to do something with the kids. And so, like, Mackenzie kind of like, she loves doing things with her cousin. So, like, they have a thing for that. But Gavin's kind of, he's not like the third wheel. He's not like that, but he just does different things.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, Gavin's just gonna just chill with me. So I was like, okay, well, we'll just chill, we'll hang out, we'll figure out something.
Yeah.
And like, I'll be honest with you, I was tired.
Yeah.
That day. For some reason, I was just tired.
Yeah.
But it's like, I want to do something with Gavin.
Right.
Like, take this, like,
Take this opportunity.
Take the opportunity. Like, screw being tired.
Be tired tomorrow.
You have time to be tired. You know. So we go to Dave and Buster's.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, okay, we're gonna go Dave and Buster's, have some fun.
That's good.
You know, do some stuff.
Play some games.
You know, and then we went to like the store and stuff. He was looking at some things. But it's like investing the time, even though you may be dog tired.
Yeah.
It's that factor of like the intention of it. Having the trust of like, okay, I'm gonna be tired. I've got to get up early. But it's like having the trust, having the confidence of like you're doing the right thing. Yeah. It's not like I'm doing the wrong thing.
Yeah. Doing the right thing.
You know? But we had a great time. We came back and you know, like the basketball, like you got the little basketball rim with the little like like we were playing that all night, man. I didn't go to bed. Well, we played it for a while. But I was like, Gavin, I gotta go to bed, man, because I gotta get up early because we gotta get this podcast knocked out. Right. But we actually stayed up till about 10:30.
Wow.
We probably gonna play a bunch of it today.
Oh yeah. You definitely play longer. Like if you lose, you're like, we gotta play.
Oh,
again.
He schooled me. Gavin schooled me, man.
You want to play again? But like, Gavin, if I lost, I want to play again.
Gavin had his technique. He had the technique down, so he was killing it.
If I win, it's like, I'm done. We're done. It's okay. We're good. If I lost, we're playing again.
Yeah. No, it's like once I started getting on a roll and I started trying to catch up to him, he's like, I just want to play for fun.
Look, I just want to play for fun.
And I'm like, I'm fine. We'll play for fun.
Winning is fun.
It can. Yeah, it is. Winning is fun.
Let's be.
But yeah. So it's like just putting trust in things. Putting trust in him. That's where you get the confidence. And then just doing intentionally, just doing what's right.
That's good, man.
So
confidence is a form of trust, man.
It is. Put it in the right thing.
Put it in the right thing.
And we all know what the right thing
is. That's right. Till next time.
All right.
This is your co-host here, Braxton Matson, and Lee and I just want to say thank you so much for tuning into this episode. We hope you've enjoyed it just as much as we did making it, but we couldn't do it without you. So please hit that like button, leave us a rating, leave us a review. Let us know what topic or subject that you would like us to talk about in your journey from mediocre to magnificent. But most of all, share it. Be the ripple effect of magnificence and know that you are magnificent in everything you do. Till next time.